I was having this thought when I was brushing my teeth this morning. I was like, if I don't make art, I will die. Like, it has to be that insane. Like, it has to be that. Otherwise, it will not work out. I'm an artist, Puerto Rican and Black, and my parents were civil rights activists. I was just born into a family of a lot of pride, a lot of storytelling, a lot of filling in the blanks around history that maybe wasn't recorded. I learned really at a young age how important the story one tells about themselves and also about family matters. I think I was just always this quiet kid who loved to observe, take in what was going on with the environment, and then through the art, that would be like the place I got to say something. Me choosing to identify as non-binary is somewhat, and this is just my own experience, born out of feeling at a very young age that I wasn't allowed to be my full self. I was expected to be like a good girl. You know, before I was a filmmaker, I was a journalist and I was a dancer, and I've recognized through all of these different vocations, like that never stops happening. I find that like I have to work on like likability and stuff that really just gets in the way of the work I actually want to do, which is, you know, to write or to direct. Gender-based violence is something I've just seen generations of women in my family have to deal with. To not be able to move through the world feeling entitled to safety is so marginalizing, so isolating. And I think that feeling you can kind of see in some of my work. You know, I really tried to create a subjective lens in which perhaps whoever's watching, whatever their experience, they can sort of feel into what it might be like to have been a survivor of sexual assault, to understand how fragile life is. I also do like to center my experience as a Black femme person also in my work. You know, In Place of Monuments is about just two young girls who were just talking about something that happened to them as teenagers, but that thing that happened was an act of police brutality. It wasn't lost on me that the police who arrested us and drew their guns and pointed their guns at us were trying to show us a lesson, whether on a conscious level or not, of our value and our worth. And it's something that I think, only Black people really have to worry about, you know, like how fast are you running, in what neighborhood, who's watching you. When someone's trying to shove you in a box, what happens at these inflection points for me is at times I realize, shit, how human I am. And this idea I have in my head about how I would act or behave is so not what happened. So the events that I'm making work about just expose a certain level of humanity, right? And how fragile I am. And then I try to take that and I'm like, well, if I'm this fragile, so are others. And I think the bravery is in admitting that. I think by excavating that and putting it out there, there's something about the light that kind of dissolves it all. I'm a huge Toni Morrison fan. Just in her writing, I think, and then, you know, you see it in her interviews. Like, she just knows who she is and how she sees things and what she knows. She's a perfect example of someone who, like, got free. I like to think I want to come in with the intention of Toni Morrison in regards to world building and characters and what I'm trying to say in the work, which is speaking to a very deep-seated truth, an intuitive knowing that I think sometimes society is consistently trying to disavow. I do think like my work can be very dense, only because people have told me that. Like in reading a script of mine, just like everything means something. And I'm like, yeah, everything does. And that's sometimes how I feel reading Toni Morrison. For me, what's important is asking myself the question, like, are the stakes for my life high enough? Because if they're not, I don't really feel connected to it. I was having this thought when I was brushing my teeth this morning. I was like, if I don't make art, I will die. Like, it has to be that, like, insane. Like, it has to be that. Otherwise, it will not work out. Like, my first short, it had to be, like, what is the hardest thing that I don't want to say because it's so scary. There were some moments of my life I just wasn't really present for, you know? Which is why I think for me, like, the stakes need to be high, because I think that's usually when I can be the most present. Like, even now, like, this moment will never be the same. It's never gonna happen again. And so, like, are we actually present, or are we taking it for granted? I think my therapist doesn't love that about me. She's like, not everything has to mean so much. But then I'm like, well then,
What's the point?
what's the point? I don't quite get it. She just knows how to make the most of life. I think I definitely got that from her.